Hello everybody, Average Gamer here, and today you'll notice we're doing something a little different. Today, we are doing a recording. We're actually not in our normal game of playing and fighting and all that stuff and live streaming. I have temporarily decided to take well, it took last week off streaming. I'm going to take a little bit more additional time off streaming, mainly just because it does have a significant draw on on me specifically. Long story short, if you don't know, I work from 11 p.m. at night to 7 a.m. Then I try to stream from 1 o'clock to 6 or 7 o'clock. It's built up over the last little while, so I've decided I'm going to try and get some recordings out this week instead of streaming. It's not because, one's way more popular than the other. It's just because I have in need of some rest, some relaxation, and some sleeping. So, what we're doing, if you've missed some of the live streams and all that stuff, we are currently building up our military so we can put up a nice defensive line against India over here and North Korea over here. We gave North Korea independence after we invaded we gave South Korea a whole bunch of older used military equipment that we no longer needed. What? I may have given Korea these aircraft. I don't know if I did, but they have a MiG-25. I did not give them a MiG-25. That is a very much more modern aircraft than I wanted to give them. I'm pretty sure I gave them mostly the prop aircraft. I think the Russians... Yeah, the Russians must have given them the MiG-25. Because I'm pretty sure that was not me. I'm also in the understanding here, I believe we're building some... Yep, the X-2A ADAS units. Those are to be placed on the North Korean border. Here is some of the timber stuff, because we were having some issues with our timber production. By that I mean it was just low. X2As, right? Yep. Okay. So we're going to be placing the X2As that are built. We're going to be placing them around here. I don't think we're going to have any for a while. We have our units currently just automatically deploying for us at the moment. The reason why is because all these units that are deployed are actually going to be placed along the Indian. Still to come up with a new name for our country. I want to change our name to something like the Asian Dominion or something. I don't know yet. I want to come up with a good name that's not, expected to be a name that we would be using. Honestly, don't know yet. So yeah, so our timber industry, if I'm not mistaken, as all these are being built here, we're going to look at our overall goodsness. Our agriculture is meh. Now we need to work on that. Our rubber is perfectly fine. As you can see here, we do have a bit of a buffer for our timber industry, but not so much. Oh, now with all that being built, it might take a few moments to see if it kicks in. Just how much of our timber industry is now good to go here. So we're just going to close out all of these. I'm just going to say okay. Close out all of these. And yeah, so there we go. Timber's definitely picked up a little bit. So we're probably going to work on our agriculture a little bit. If I were to go to agriculture. Yeah, there's some actual good areas over here. So we probably do... I'm just going to pause here real quick. We're going to build at least 3 solid stacks of agriculture. Order our engineers here. I'm going to order them there just because that's where the rail line goes. We're going to close that. So yeah, plan is to have a couple 20-minute episodes this week. Nothing too crazy. So, make sure I misclick once or twice at least. Yeah, so we're building 48 units. We'll get those ADAS 2s. And some infantry units to be built still. Then those guys are all going to be deployed against this border here. We have some AWACS flying around. I'm looking to see just how much of a massive military India has. Last time I checked, they had a military that was ridiculous in size. Let's take both of those. Oh, we have a new piece of artillery. The 2S31EM. Figure the E would be extended, and then the M, no idea. Because I know ER is extended range. EM, no idea. But yeah, what is your range anyways? 94 kilometers. Holy cramoly. Our current guy that we're using on our, that's going to be used on our front lines defense, has a 33 kilometer range. Wow. That is ridiculous. Yeah, so let's look at real quick. Well, things are being built here on the back end. So our military right now is 1.1 million with a reserve currently of 300,000. So pretty much as we speak, the majority of our military is already deployed, and it's mostly deployed in a defensive fashion. The Indian military is 3 million active right now, which tells me they probably have at least 25% of that still in reserve, which tells me they probably have at least 1 million troops, possibly. Well, I know that's 33%, but close enough. I figured they've got about 1 million in reserve. If we have 300,000, they've got 1 million. And the Americans are sitting at 5 million, well, 5.12 million. You can look, that number is actually fluctuating as we watch. Our military, which is right here, is actually now the 6th largest military in the world. Our military is now the size of England and Pakistan. We're now bigger than Brazil, France, Italy. To put in perspective, our initial military size, I think, was in here somewhere. So we're the size of most, non-existent countries. I don't want to say non-existent, but non-important, non-mainstream countries. And you know what? I honestly didn't mind that. We weren't planning on being a massive military power by any means. But, after getting attacked by the Chinese a couple times, I feel as though we are completely within our right to do what we have done. Yeah, we expanded due to the threat, and then since then we have just gotten, bigger and more stronger because, we got attacked. So a lot of people don't realize is the reason why we are as big as we are is because we've actually been fighting defensive wars. Our original war with China was because we basically canceled out all our agreements with a lot of other countries around us. And it looks like China basically decided we were going to be an easy mark. Which they were wrong. Construction, there we go. Now I also wanted to look real quick at my power production. If I'm not mistaken, do we still have any nuclear going on here? Nope. Okay. Yeah, so our nuclear power production right now, we want to go to 105%. All our power, if I'm not mistaken, is being produced right here. It's all being produced by dark energy. This is, if I'm not mistaken, the highest end power you can get in the game. I love it. Because now we are officially good to go when it comes to a lot of that stuff. Which reminds me, do we not have enough? Did I need to deploy? Oh, I needed an extra, I think, 2 for that spot there, right? All these guys are going to be ordered to entrench a little later. The main thing we want right now is anti-aircraft units. So far, only 1 has been deployed. Okay, and there we go. All that agriculture is done. Once all this construction is done, I'm going to order all these units to go to one specific location. And then at that point, I'll be able to kind of filter out who is going where. All the anti-aircraft units are going to the North Korean border. Everyone else is going to this Indian border here. We're going to build up, fortify, and trench our forces. And just try to make good of everything. Okay, good for you. Some escort ships have been researched. Nice. Oh. We've got 3 subs we can research. And an escort ship. Actually, speaking of research, the US has been sitting pretty far ahead of us, but they're very far behind now in naval and military warfare, which is good. They do have that one tank, which we did find, which we bought from them. If I'm not mistaken, that's the FCS Mark II. It's the only tank in the game where you don't need specific military tech. You just need some other tech to get it. Unfortunately, the Americans got all that tech that they needed, except for the military tech. So they're very far behind in the military. I could theoretically, and by theoretical I mean literally, most likely invade the United States and actually take them on at this point. They have a larger military than me by far, but I have a large tech advantage. So that might be something that I'm going to contemplate as time progresses. But definitely the plan, one of the plans is to go after India and Eastern Pakistan, aka Bangladesh, and kind of centralize and solidify our border here. One of the things I want to do, I'm actually going to pause it. I'm going to which of these buttons turns everything off? There's a button here that turns, there it is. So one of my plans is actually to advance, take all of Eastern Bangladesh, and then, or actually just take Bangladesh in general, let it collapse, and all I want to do is hold everything east of this river, and this one here. That way we can actually kind of basically make our front lines a lot smaller with India, because right now India is a massive, in my eyes at least, threat. In regards to the fact that they are a very big country with a very large army and amazing stockpiles when it comes to resources. I'm probably going to get them to attack me by using our spy systems like we did in the last few gameplays with what we did with China. The plan would be to kind of get them to declare war on me, so that way I don't look as bad as I otherwise would. We're on the fastest speed right here. We are. Our Air Force is going. We're getting those MiG-25s, F-18s, F-14s. At what point was I going to do something with more modern aircraft? I think it was the F2 Ghost. I'm just going to wait till it's midnight here. And we're going to pause. So, the range is 3,000. So, I want to know why this isn't as good, obviously, as the F-18. So, if we look here, first we're going to look at range. So, range is 3,000. 3,000, 2,100. Okay, so it flies faster. It moves further. It's not a... I don't think it could fit on a carrier. Yeah, it can't fit on a carrier. It has a higher stealth rating, because the higher this number, obviously the better. The spotting range is 80 kilometers. Your spotting range is 84, so you have a better spotting range. Combat time is 8, which means how, obviously you can fight. Combat 12 is 8 and 144. Okay. 24 kilometer range when hitting ground targets. Okay, so that you have to hit things closer. So you know it's good range. Okay. 14, 14, 15. Okay, so the F-18 can hit targets a little harder and better, but is not as stealthy, is half the speed, and is 800 kilometers short in range. It can mid-air refuel and get back on target. 31 and 32. Okay, so the FA-2 Ghost, or is definitely better at air threats, but half the strength when it comes to ground targets. So for a multi-role aircraft, that aircraft does tend to go more on the intercept role than it does the ground attack role. So that, yeah. Then here is its very first version here. So basically the A1 versus the A2. It definitely got better stats, but obviously it was kind of in the direction of something else. Strategic bombers. Yeah, right now I wanted some of the good patrol aircraft from the U.S. Unfortunately, the patrol aircraft the U.S. have right now, because of their behindness in military tech, because they've gone more pacifist in this playthrough, is causing me some issues when it comes to I don't have the ability to buy ridiculously awesome tech in comparison to everybody else. That's kind of come back to bite me in the butt a little bit, because the Russians, on the other hand, if we go to tech, they're a little bit more advanced when it comes to the military, but they're kind of okay with everything else. I've been a little shocked as to how Russia seems to be more well-rounded with tech, while the Americans are very far ahead in everything but military. They're ridiculously far behind in the military tech. I am significantly shocked. One of the other things I want to do too, I have a ridiculous amount of Cameroonian forces in Vietnam that we'll call it Africanized Vietnam. I have come to the decision that I want to remove these guys from my territory altogether. We have no one in this territory, so I need to send troops over. So I want to get Cameroon and is that Mali? Who is this? I think it's Mali. Yeah, I think it's Mali. Or Malay, however you want to pronounce it. It's very. We had an alliance with them a while ago with both those countries, and the alliances kind of fell apart. But yeah. I also want to kind of help clean up this, because this has really been bothering me. It's so close to our country, and it's along the lines of, oh, it is just so ugly. It's chunks of India, Tibet, whatever that country's called, and Pakistan, and yeah, I really want to clean this up. One of my ideas was to take India, then just release India, but then I realized I'm gonna have to give all this away or back, so I honestly don't know what I'm gonna do. Especially because these countries have to obviously do this on their own, so I don't know exactly what's gonna happen there. Unfortunately, I can't order a country to release territory that it owns, so I believe when we look at our border, actually, we don't have any Yeah, our border is pretty much okay. I mean, there is the Eastern Pakistan Indian border that's kind of crazy, because I think it was the first Pakistani war, the first Pakistani-Indian War. I know it's the something Indo War is what it's called, but when the two of them fought the first time, Eastern Pakistan started getting kind of beaten, lost their entire coastline pretty much, or coastal waters, and then the first war ended, and then the second war started, then the third world. I think they have fought now 3 wars, and the current front line is quite higgledy-piggledy there, so we'll have to try to figure out what we can do in regards to helping them out with fixing that situation. Still have ground units on the build. But with that in mind, thanks for watching, everybody. I'm going to put a cut in here, and I will see you guys tomorrow with another 20-minute episode. Bye-bye.